Uh, Good morning to all of you. Just I have shared with you all the notes about this unit 3 along with the video lectures for this. Now, today just we are going to discuss this theme. We are wrapping the unit number 1 and 2 till date we have seen in the classes. So in unit number 1, basically we have seen the rectangular waveguides, circular waveguides and various kind of waveguides. Unit 2 use various kinds of components, that is like the structures. Now this unit 3, basically we are going to discuss in this case the microwave tubes. Now first in your mind, what is the need of microwave tubes? As we know that as an amplifier or an oscillator, we need some devices that can be used at micro frequencies. Normally we are using the transistor and simply we can see that the lower frequencies. But there are certain limitations. We can use these vacuum tubes or transistors as an amplifier or oscillator at micro frequencies. So for this, we have to study different kinds of tubes that can be used in the various micro applications. So first we will see in this case, if you're referring to unit number 3, limitations of conventional active devices at micro frequencies. This question we can see that is asked in the AK2 examinations most of the time. What are the limitations of conventional active devices at micro frequencies? Then we will discuss in this case various types of the microwave tubes. Namely, there are two types of tubes in our syllabus that we will discuss. One is the O type, that is called ordinary type, and one other is the M type, the tubes. In case of O type tubes, we will see the two cavity klystron, duplex klystron, and the slow structure, that is traveling wave tube. In case of M type of tube, we'll discuss the magnetron in this case. We'll see here that their schematics, principle operating, performance characteristics, and their applications. We'll start with this. We can see that what we will see in this unit, we can see that as we discussed in this case, we'll discuss the klystron oscillator, that is a two cavity klystron, duplex klystron, magnetron, traveling wave tube. Their construction, principle operations, working, applications, and the principle of we can see that various characteristics. Now, first of all, we'll see what are the limitations of conventional tubes at micro frequencies. As we know that various tubes are there, that is conventional tubes are available in the market that can be used just like the triodes, tetrodes, pentodes. It can be used as a microwave. We can use a source at micro. Then when we are using this components like triode, tetrodes, pentodes, or even though we can say transistors at micro frequencies, they cannot work, we can say, satisfactorily. What is the problem behind this? As we know, just for example, we can consider simple oscillator circuit, that is tuned circuit, and that is try to increase the operating frequency. For this purpose, we reduce the tank circuit parameters either L or C. This is done for, we can say that, for tuning them. Now, in this case, this tau basically we can say transit time. Transit time means that is the time taken by the electron to reach from one place to other place. We can see that in this case from anode to cathode. For high frequency or micro frequencies, the device parameters like inter-electrode capacitance and lead capacitance takes dominant part in circuit affect the operation of oscillator, or we can say amplifier. Normally, as in when we are operating, we can say that these micro devices at the micro frequencies, as we know that micro frequency that is ranging from 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz, the operation of the circuit get affected in this case. Now there are certain reasons are there why we cannot use these conventional tubes at the micro frequency. The first one is the inter-electrode capacitance and lead inductance effect, we can say. Second one is a transit time effect. Third one is a gain bandwidth product limitation. Fourth one is the RF losses, and fifth one is radiation losses. Now we'll see in detail all this. We can say that in short how we can say that this inter-electrode capacitance and lead inductance effect that can affect the performance, or we can say transit time effect, or gain bandwidth product limitation, or RF losses, or radiation losses. Now the first one is the inter-electrode capacitance and lead capacitance inductances. In short, you know that as and when we are using transistor, or we can say any electrode, or we can say any vacuum tube as an amplifier. So in this case, what happens at high frequencies? At high frequencies, there exists, we can say that basically an electrode capacitance between the two terminals. Just I am showing you with the example here. Suppose that this is the triode we are taking example. In this case, the three terminals are there in this case, plate, anode and cathode. So in this case, here we can say that in between these two terminals, there is either we can say anode and grid, or grid and cathode and plate, or we can say anode. There exists, we can say that virtual capacitance. That virtual capacitance basically exists due to the dielectric, that is air, that is present between these two terminals. And this basically affects performance, we can say that, of the transistor. So we can say that in this case, just like example, we can say that the capacitance is there, that is nothing but epsilon A by du, where A is the area, D by the distance that is separated. So in this case, we know that Xc is given by 1 by 2 pi Fc. As C is in this case that is created, frequency is higher, that will act basically short circuit. So this will affect simply, we can say that, the performance. Now the second reason, basically, this is transit time effect. In the conventional tubes, electrons emitted by cathode takes a finite time in reaching the anode. This interval is called as a transit time. Means from one place to other place. That is, we can say when the electron is reaching from one place to other place. This interval, called the transit time, depends on the cathode anode spacing and the static voltage between the anode and the transit time tau. The tau is the transit time and d is the cathode anode spacing and the velocity of electrons. Now the third one is nothing but the gain bandwidth product limitation. In ordinary vacuum tubes, the maximum gain is generally achieved by resonating the output tuned circuits. The gain bandwidth product, that is given by Gm by C. Now, it is important to note that the gain bandwidth product is dependent on frequency. As Gm and C are fixed for a particular tube or circuit, higher gain can be achieved only at applicable to resonant circuit. Now, the next in the micro devices, either reentrained cavities or slow wave structure. I just discussed with you. Basically, slow wave structures are nothing but the traveling wave tube, basically. And reentrained cavities means this is just like a box, we can say that. That is, so we can say that can be used, we can say that can be used to obtain a possible overall high gain over a broadband bandwidth. The next one is the RF losses. This RF losses basically include the two things, we can say that the skin effect and the dielectric losses. The skin effect losses, first of all, see the skin effect losses. Due to this skin effect, the conduct losses came into play at higher frequencies, at which current has this tendency to confine itself to a smaller cross-section of a conductor towards its outer surface. Now, next is the dielectric losses. As we know that as the micro frequency, the high frequency, various insulating materials like glass, envelope, silicon, and plastic that can be used as an encapsulation. The losses occur due to the dielectric material is known as dielectric losses. Generally, we can say that these dielectric losses and frequency can be related with, we can say that PL, where PL is nothing but the power loss. So its frequency basically increases, then power loss will also increase. The effect of dielectric losses can reduce eliminating the tube base and reducing the surface area of the dielectric material. Next one is, we can say that radiation losses. At high frequencies, when the dimensions of wire approaches near to wavelength, that is lambda, as you know, lambda is equal to C by F, it will emit radiation called as radiation losses. Radiation losses are increases with the increase in frequency. These radiation losses can also be reduced by the proper shielding of, we can say that, wire and cable. Now, these are the various, we can say that, limitations are there, due to which we can say that we cannot use this, we can say tetrode, pentode, or we can say that anything, any device, we can say that at micro frequencies. So for this purpose, what we require a special types of devices that can be used, that can be utilized at micro frequency, that is ranging from 300 megahertz to 300 gigahertz. Now we will discuss the various types of tubes in detail. So first of all, we'll see the various, we can say that, the classification, how these micro tubes are classified. As I already discussed with you, these are classified in two parts. We can say that one is called as a linear beam tubes, or is called O type. It's also called ordinary type. And the tubes, cross filled tubes, they are basically a magnetic type, that is a M type. What is called a cross filled tubes? This is one common question asked in the examination. Why it's called cross filled tubes? The cross filled tubes means in this case the electric field and the magnetic field are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. While in case of linear beam tubes, they are in the linear fashion. Now we'll see the various types. We can see that what are the various types of the O type and M type tubes. These O type tubes are classified into klystron, TWT, that is the traveling wave tube, and tristons. Now these tristons are again we can say helix, backward wave oscillator, couple cavity, ring bar, or ring loop. Again we can say this klystron are classified into we can say two cavity klystron amplifier, multi-cavity klystron amplifier, or we can say replace klystron. And these cross-filled tubes are classified in terms of magnetron, cross-filled amplifiers, and transitrons. Now in our syllabus, we have to discuss the two cavity klystron, replace klystron, traveling wave tube, that is TWT, magnetron, and Bachmann wave oscillator. These are the 5 things, and we'll see their principles, operation, construction, various parameters we can say that, and application part of this. Now let us start with this two cavity klystron. Or we can klystron is simplest vacuum tube that can be used for application or station that can use an oscillate of microwave signal. The operation of klystron depends upon the two things: velocity modulation, which leads to density modulation of electrons. Klystron may be classified below. Then again, that is two cavity klystron amplifier, multi-cavity klystron amplifier, and replace klystron. Now in this case, two terms are there. One is called as an velocity modulation, and which leads to density modulation. Velocity modulation means simply we can say that change in the velocity. With respect to this change in velocity, whatever the change in current is there, that is basically called as current modulation. Density means crowding mode, we can say that. Now here just we'll start with this first topic, that is called two cavity klystron. As the name suggests, two cavity klystron basically consist of a two cavity. Now as I told you, this basically works on the principle of velocity modulation. If you are repeating all these devices, either I am saying these two cavity klystron or magnetron, or we can say TWT, they all basically work on the principle of this velocity modulation. First of all, you have to understand what is the meaning of velocity modulation. See, 4 or 5 terms are there in this case. These are very important. One is we can say that the velocity modulation. Second is due to this velocity modulation, bunching effect. I'll just explain the working later. This time is giving the 3 or 4 terms are there. One is the velocity modulation. Due to this velocity modulation, the bunching occurs. That bunching process, we can say that. With this bunching, there is a change in, we can say that, the density. That is called density modulation. And due to this density, the current that is going to change inside the cavity. Cavity means that is closed box, we can say that. Closed cavity means one side anode, one side cathode. This we can say that creates a current modulation, because by means of which there is a change in current. Now we will see what are the various the structure of this. I just request all of you just try to see the notes for this diagram if you are having with you, or we can just draw this diagram right now. It's better for you. I just already informed you. Just keep the pen and copy along with you. Now, as if you are looking at the circuit of the diagram of this consists of basically the two cavities. The one is called as the input cavity. Other is called as the output cavity. Input cavity is also called as the buncher cavity, while this output cavity is called as the catcher cavity. If you're looking in this case, it consists of a cathode. The RF input signal, which is to be amplified, that is given, we can say that here. And the RF output that is taken from the output cavity. मीन्स जिस सिग्नल को हमें मॉडिफाई करना है, जिसको हमें एम्पलीफाई करना है, उस सिग्नल को हम इनपुट कैविटी से देते हैं, इसको हम बोलते हैं बंचर कैविटी। जिस सिग्नल जो हमें सिग्नल आउटपुट मिलेगा, एम्पलीफाइड सिग्नल मिलेगा, उस आउटपुट एम्पलीफाइड सिग्नल को हमें आरएफ आउटपुट से मिलेगा। ओके, सो नाउ इन दिस केस if you are looking this, the space, that is the gap between this at the input cavity, that is called the gap X. You can see, you can name anyone gap X, you can find gap A or something like this. The gap in between this second cavity, that is the output cavity, that is named within gap Y. And the space, that is the space between the gap X or these two cavities, that is called as a drift space. Drift space means that is nothing but, also we can see that is the space for the interaction, space for the interaction. Now, if you're looking here, this is nothing but one is given the electron beam, because in this case, these focusing electrodes are there, that has been kept here. The electrons to focus only in one direction, we can see that. One, the electron gun is there, it is basically cathode, that continuously emits the electrons, and that is going from the input cavity to output cavity. And the collector is there, that is the more positive in this case, that collects the electrons. That is why that is the more positive in this case. Now we'll see, we can say that, and this, you got the working of all focusing electrodes, electron beam, and you are seeing this electron bunches. Now we'll see that how these electron bunches are formed here and all these things in detail, we can say that. Construction, I'm repeating once again, just for your knowledge. So referring the structure of this two cavity klystron, it basically consists of the input cavity, which is also called as the buncher cavity, and it consists of the output cavity, which is called as the catcher cavity. The signal which is to be amplified, that is the RF signal, that is given to the input cavity, that is buncher cavity, and this amplified signal that we can get from the output, RF output, that is the output cavity. In this case, the electron gun is there, that is cathode. That is basically job with the cathode is that continuously emits the electrons. Focusing electrodes are there. These focusing electrodes basically are there, focus electrons only in one direction, so that electrons cannot scatter here and there. If we are writing this one term, that is gap X, that is the gap X, nothing but the gap between the input cavities. Gap Y is nothing but the gap that is created in output cavities, and the space between this input cavity and output cavity is called as a drift space. And in this case, collector is there, that is the more positive as compared to the cathode. Now all this assembly has been assembled in the glass tube, and that is basically a construction of two cavity klystron. If you are referring, we can see that structure that is given here, the input cavity, output cavity things. Now this operation of this, we can see operation of this circuit. This operation of the circuit can be explained in, we can see that, 2 or 3 ways. One, we can explain the working of this by means of the Applegate diagram that I will show you later on. Applegate diagram, and this diagram we can say that is called bunching process. And mathematically we can prove this. How we can say that? We are saying this bunching occurs. Bunching occurs. Hello? 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 Now just we'll see that how this the principal operation is there. So in this case, as we have seen, this electron gun is there that continuously emits the electrons. Now in this case, when there is no RF signal, first of all, we see that when there is no RF signal is applied in this case. When there is no RF input is applied, what will happen in this case? In absence of the RF input signals, the electron coming from the electron gun or cathode, that will straightforward reach to the collector, and collector will collect it. This is the case condition when we are not applying any kind of RF input. Means in absence of any RF input signal, the signal that is coming from the cathode that reaches to the gap X, reaches to drift space, that is space of interaction, that goes to gap Y, and that is being collected at collector. Okay. Now, as and when we are applying the RF signal. Now, what is happening here? See, the electron that is coming from the cathode to gap X, that is coming with some kind of velocity. Now, when that electron will come with, we can say that will combine with the RF input signal that is applied to the input gap X here. And now what is happening in this case? When we are applying this RF input signal, just I am showing you the AppleGate diagram here, that will be more clear with you. Now, in this case, see here, the first thing, that is the no gap voltage. We are applying no gap voltage means there is no input, there is no application of RF signal. If you are saying this, when there is no RF signal applied, the electrons, we can say that is going straight forward to the collector. Now, when we apply, we can say the RF signal. Depending upon this, we can say that the amplitude of RF signal, the electrons will get either the higher speed or lower speed. For example, in this case, I am taking the case of the 3 electrons in this case, electron A, B, and C. Just consider this when the electron A is there, that is the A electron. I'm just taking the example of 3 electrons, in this case, electron A, electron B, and electron C. When the electron A, that will come in contact with the RF signal, if you are referring the amplitude of RF signal at electron A, that is basically negative signal. Due to this negative signal, the speed of the electrons gets retarded, that is reduced. Now, after this, there is the electron B is there, which is coming after the electron A, Now, we can say that when the electron B is there, that is coming, if you are rating the RF signal, that is the less negative as compared to the A. Now, that will be, we can say that, less retarded as compared to this. While the later electron, that is C electron, we can say that, C electron, when the C electron will come, this will get a positive, we can say that, amplitude signal, RF signal. Due to this positive RF signal, this electron C will get a more speed as compared to electron A and B. Now, in this case, what is going to happen here? If I am saying, if we are taking the reverse condition, we can say that earlier C electron, then B, and then A. Now, there are chances that this electron A, B, and C can meet, can be combined in, we can say that, drift space. The chances are there, the electron A, B, and C, or there are so many electrons are there, that is because electron gun is continuously emitting the electrons. So these electrons may combine with each other. When these electrons may combine with each other, so this electron gets, basically, we can say that, as velocity modulation. Means this electron will be combined together and the electrons are basically velocity modulated. And this velocity modulated, we can say that after this velocity modulated, this electron, the current that is going to change in the cavity, that basically we can refer as current modulation. And this bunches that is due to this, we can say, retardation or the increase in speed of the electrons due to the RF signal, they form an electron bunch, and that electron bunch will become as an amplified signal that is called from the RF output. Now just see this, we can say that same thing that written here. The input and output are taken from the tube via resonant cavity with the help of coupling loops. The region between the buncher cavity and catcher cavity is called drift space. Just we have discussed. I'm just repeating once again. The first electrode focusing grid controls the number of electrons in the electron beam and serves to focus the beam. The velocity of electron in beam is determined by the beam accelerating potential. On leaving the region of focusing grid, the electron passes through the grid of buncher cavity. The space between the grids is referred to as the interaction space. I just already explained you the space between this gap X and gap Y, that is also known as the space for the interaction, is where the electrons can interact with each other. When electrons travel to this space, they are subject to RF potential at a frequency determined by the cavity resonant frequency, which is nothing but the input frequency. The amplitude of the RF potential between the grid is determined by the amplitude of input signal in case of any amplifier, or by the amplitude of the feedback signal from the second cavity if it is used as an oscillator. The working of two cavity klystron depends upon velocity modulation. Velocity modulation consider a situation when there is no voltage. This is the thing that is repeated once again. Just I have explained you in the earlier case. Now it is repeated. Just listen once again carefully, those who are in doubt. When there is no voltage in gap, electron passing through gap X are unaffected and continue to go on collector. First condition, that when there is no gap voltage, electron will come from electron gun. These to gap X go to interaction space, drift space, and these to gap Y, and that is collected by collector. That I already have just expressed to you. Now, when RF signal to be amplified, the signal which is amplified is used for exciting the buncher cavity, thereby developing an alternating voltage of signal frequency across the gap X. This is the condition when we are applying the RF signal that is coming to the gap X. The theory of velocity modulation can be explained with the help of a diagram as shown in figure. I'll just show you figure. At point X on the RF input cycle, the alternating voltage is 0, and the electron which passes through gap X is unaffected by RF signal. This is the point X. Just refer this diagram. You can see that at point X means simply we can say that when there is no gap voltage. Theory of velocity modulation can be explained by using the diagram. Okay, just we'll see. Let electron, that is called as the reference electron, which travels with an unchanged velocity. That is, velocity is there, we can say, where V is the anode to cathode voltage. Consider another point of RF cycle, an electron passing the gap slightly later than the reference electron, called as the late electron, is subject to positive RF voltage. So late electron is accelerated and hence traveling towards gap Y with an increased velocity, and this late electron tries to catch the reference electron. Similarly, another point we can see that of RF cycle, an electron passing the gap slightly before than the reference electron, called the array electron, and this array electron is subject to negative RF voltage, so that electrons is retarded and hence traveling towards gap B or gap Y, we can say that, with reduced velocity and the reference electron. I just explain you. So when this electron passes through the buncher gap, their velocity will be changed according to the input RF signal. This process is known as the velocity modulation. This Applegate diagram, I have just shown you. The electrons gradually bunch together at the travel at the drift space. When electron catches up with another one, the electron will exchange every energy with the slower electron, giving it some excess energy, and they bunch together and move on, which the average velocity will be. The phenomenon is very vital to the operation of klystron tubes as an amplifier. The pulsating stream of electrons passes through gap B and excited oscillations in the output cavity. The density of electrons passing the gap Y, we can say B here, the dimension Y, varies cyclically with time. This means the electron beam contains an AC current, and violation in current density, often called as in current modulation, enable the klystron to a significant gain, and hence drift space convert the velocity modulation to current modulation. This is the diagram. Now, before starting the mathematical analysis, I'm just coming to the comment box. If any queries are there, I'm just giving you the 5 minutes. If any queries are there, you can raise the queries in the chat box, please. Okay, then we'll go ahead with this. If any queries are there, you can raise the queries, please. Any queries are there? Mr. Vishal, how to work electron puncture beam means what? Can you elaborate this question? I'm not getting your point. How to work electron puncture beam? Basically, in this case, the electron gun is there. Concept of velocity modulation. Just see in short, I'll just explain you the Kalati. I think you just asked one query, that was the meaning of the concept of the velocity modulation. In short, I will just give you in the layman language the working of this in Hindi. इसलिए इसमें क्या हो रहा है, इलेक्ट्रॉन गन क्या कर रहा है, कंटिन्यूसली इलेक्ट्रॉन को इमिट कर रहा है. जब हमने इसमें आरएफ सिग्नल नहीं दिया, ओके, जब हमने इसमें आरएफ सिग्नल नहीं दिया तो इलेक्ट्रॉन कंटिन्यूसली इलेक्ट्रॉन गन से आ रहा है, गैप एक्स तक आ रहा है, टिप स्पेस पे जा रहा है, एंड दैट इज कमिंग टू द कलेक्टर. फाइन. जैसे हमने इसमें आरएफ सिग्नल अप्लाई किया, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द एम्पलीट्यूड, जो आरएफ सिग्नल का एम्पलीट्यूड है वो हमारा गैप एक्स पे आ रहा है. ओके, जब हमारा गैप एक्स पे आ रहा है उसमें, तो उसमें क्या हो रहा है कि डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ द आरएफ सिग्नल, इलेक्ट्रॉन की स्पीड बढ़ रही है, घट रही है. ओके, इलेक्ट्रॉन की स्पीड बढ़ रही है, घट रही है. तो इसमें हो क्या रहा है कि मान लीजिए कोई इलेक्ट्रॉन पहले गया होगा, जब हमने क्या कहते हैं कि आरएफ सिग्नल नहीं दिया होगा, और इमीडिएटली हमने आरएफ सिग्नल दे दिया. जैसे हमने आरएफ सिग्नल दिया, दिस आरएफ सिग्नल जो हो रहा है आपका, दैट इज रिकम्बाइनिंग विथ द आरएफ सिग्नल, रिकम्बाइनिंग विथ वी कैन से द इलेक्ट्रॉन. ओके, नाउ दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन की जो स्पीड आपकी आ रही है, दैट डिपेंड्स अपॉन वी कैन से दैट द एम्पलीट्यूड ऑफ आरएफ सिग्नल. आरएफ सिग्नल की जो एम्पलीट्यूड होगा, अगर वो ज्यादा होगा तो स्पीड ज्यादा हो जाएगी, अगर स्पीड कम होगी, आरएफ से एम्पलीट्यूड कम होगा तो स्पीड कम हो जाएगी. तो क्या होगा कि जो पहले इलेक्ट्रॉन गया होगा, उसके बाद का इलेक्ट्रॉन आ रहा है, उसमें चांसेस है कि एक इलेक्ट्रॉन जाके दूसरे इलेक्ट्रॉन को पकड़ ले, कैच कर ले. जब इलेक्ट्रॉन कैच कर लेगा, इससे क्या होता है कि बेसिकली जब दो इलेक्ट्रॉन कंबाइन हो गए, तो दो इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या हो गए, दे आर रनिंग विद द एवरेज स्पीड. नाउ मीन्स वो दो इलेक्ट्रॉन कंबाइन हो गए, वो दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन एक एवरेज स्पीड से चल रहे हैं. इससे क्या हो गया कि उसका मास बढ़ गया. तो बेसिकली इससे क्या हुआ कि उसकी वेलोसिटी चेंज हो गई उस इलेक्ट्रॉन की. ऐसे चांसेस क्या है कि बहुत सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन एक दूसरे के साथ रिकम्बाइन हो, और जिसके वजह से क्या होगा कि एवरेज स्पीड ऑफ दैट इलेक्ट्रॉन, बिकॉज इसमें बंच फॉर्म हो जा रहा है, जब बंच फॉर्म हो जा रहा है तो क्या हो रहा है, एवरेज स्पीड क्या हो रही है आपकी, चेंज हो रही है. और इसी को हम लोग कहते हैं वेलोसिटी मॉड्यूलेशन. इसी कंसेप्ट को हम कहते हैं वेलोसिटी मॉड्यूलेशन. नेक्स्ट, इस बंच फॉर्म होने से क्या हो रहा है, जो आपका कैविटी है, इस कैविटी का जो करंट चेंज हो रहा है, करंट चेंज हो रहा है, इसको हम लोग बोलेंगे करंट मॉड्यूलेशन. मीन्स पहले क्या हो रहा है कि डेंसिटी चेंज हो रही है, इसकी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की डेंसिटी चेंज होने से क्या हो रहा है, वेलोसिटी चेंज हो रही है. वेलोसिटी चेंज क्या हो रहा है, करंट चेंज हो रहा है. मीन्स इन दिस वे वी कैन से दैट द वेलोसिटी मॉड्यूलेशन ऑकर्स. क्लियर Rati? Doubt? Anybody else any doubt till time? Anybody else in doubt? Because now we are going to see the mathematical, we can say how this can be, we can see this mathematically also. For example, if I am saying the electron is coming up to the gap x, तो स्पीड क्या होगी उसकी, फिर उसके बाद जब इलेक्ट्रॉन वहां से निकलेगा तो उसकी स्पीड क्या होगी. तो हम लोग देखेंगे बंच कैसे फॉर्म होगा, बंच का पैरामीटर क्या होगा, बंचिंग पैरामीटर किस पे डिपेंड करेगा. ऑल दिस थिंग्स विल सी. एनीबडी इन डाउट? Can you please anybody raise any question? Doubt is there? Anybody in doubt? Anybody in doubt? Anybody? Anybody? Anyone any queries? Can anybody raise that? It's okay. Then we proceed. Can anybody can write in the comment box if is it okay? We proceed further. Shall we proceed further? Anybody? Now just we'll see the how we can say that. We'll just see how we can say that this mathematically how we'll see this velocity modulation. Now just we have discussed the terms velocity modulation, bunch form, current modulation, all these things. Now we'll see mathematically how this can say that things are working in this case. Just we have seen the working of this with the Applegate diagram and all these things. Now we'll see the mathematically how we can prove this the speed of the electron. We can see the this concept of velocity modulation, how this velocity modulation and all these things that is going to change, how that occurs, what is the velocity of electron. Just keep in mind one concept is there. Just have drawn the diagram, this diagram, all of you. Drawn the diagram, this diagram, everybody. This diagram just what we are going to explain here. That is the very important thing you to see here. If you are referring the space that is between the cathode to gap x, when the electron we can say that is not coming to the gap x, before the gap x we can say that the speed of electrons, or we can say the velocity of electron is something different. When this means we can say that when the electron enters into the gap x, the velocity of the electron is something different. And when the electron leaves the gap x, the speed of the electron depends upon we can say that the amplitude of RF signal. Just give me 1 minute, please. Just a minute. Please carry on. Okay. Means just we are discussing here when the electron is entering into the gap x, the speed of velocity of electron is something different. That will calculate. We can see that. Then we'll calculate. We can see that when the electron leaves the gap x, because that electron is basically the velocity modulated because the RF signal is being applied here. So when we are going to the gap, when the electron is leaving the gap x, and that is coming to the drift space, the velocity of electron is something different. So that we will calculate here, because as we have just seen that when the electron leaves the gap x, the electron velocity is going to be changed, and that just we have discussed, that is basically a velocity modulated. Now that depends, as just we have discussed, that depends upon the terms. We can say that the RF signal, RF input were applied, means the simply we can say the amplitude of RF signal. Okay, and we'll see that at what this bunching process means at what space from this gap x to the gap y, the electrons at what time this bunch being formed. Okay, means कितने टाइम के बाद bunch form होगा, कितने cycle पे bunch form होगा, कैसे होगा, all these things we will prove. We can say that we'll see mathematically also, because in the examination you will see the numericals. I think the assignment has been also given to you. Till time only the 2 students have submitted the assignment. If you are repeating the assignment, unit 3. So in this case, you can see that some numericals are there that is based on this mathematical working model of, we can say that, the two cavity klystron or reflex klystron or TWT or magnetron. Now I'll just start with this mathematical, we can say that we'll see 5-10 minutes more, then we'll leave for next class, next we can say that. Now for this purpose, the following assumptions I am considering here for the mathematical treatment. Electron transit angle in buncher and curvature grid is very small. Transit angle in buncher and catcher grid. Buncher and catcher means input and output. V1, or in this case we will see that V1 is the Vi, we will say in this case amplitude of the RF signal at the buncher grid, and V0 is nothing but the accepting voltage. Space charge effects are negligible. Electron beam density is uniform throughout the length. That is, no loss of electron takes place in the buncher and the catcher cavity. Means हमारा कोई भी electron loss नहीं हो रहा है in this case, और सारे electron we can say that they are part of the bunching process. Okay. Now this is the assumptions we are assuming in this case. Now we'll see that mathematically how we can prove this, the velocity modulation process. Just I request all of you, it's better if you are using the pen and paper and if you are writing the derivations on your copy, so that it's very easy for you to understand rather than referring the slides only. So I request all of you to please carry the, just in the message group also just convey to you that please carry the pen and paper, we can say that. So it's better if you are referring the copy. So just see that, suppose an electron passes through the center of gap X of input cavity at time T1. I'm just giving this time T1. Just try to understand first of all what is the gap X, what is the input cavity, what is the gap Y, what is the dip space, that is space for interaction, what is the gap Y. And because unless and until you just try to imagine the construction of this two cavity klystron in your mind, you are not going to understand the derivation. Because some terms that we are going to use in this case, for example, when the electron enters in gap X, when the electron leaves the gap X, what is this velocity and all these things. Okay. Suppose in this case the input voltage that is at time T1, that is given by Vi sine omega T1, where omega is nothing but the angular frequency, that is 2 pi f, and T1 is what we can say at sine basically. Now the voltage is applied to the cathode terminal, so that when an electron enters into gap X, it gets some energy. This energy is given by Ki Q Vi sine omega t. Here E basically energy acquired by an electron when it passes the center of gap X. Ki is a beam coupling coefficient of gap X. This beam coupling coefficient is defined as the ratio of alternating current induced in the resonator cavity to the alternating component of beam current. This component of beam current produces an alternating current in the resonator cavity. Q is basically charge of electron. T1, instant at which the electron passes the center of gap X. Vi, the alternating voltage between input gap X. Now, this is the, up to this I think there is no doubt to anyone. Now, considering that there are no losses, because already we have considered in the assumptions here, we can say assumption number 4, there are no losses in this case. So by considering this assumption, we can say no losses in the space between the input and output cavities. Then this kinetic energy of the electron is related as, we can say that Q into Va plus Ki Vi sine omega T1. Now, Va in this case is the voltage between the cathode and input gap X. Vi is the alternating voltage between input gap X, and K is the kinetic energy of electron. Now, Also, the kinetic energy of the electron is given by half mv square, that you all of you know what is the meaning of half mv square. Here, the m is the mass of electron, v is the velocity of electron. Now, equating this equation 1 and 2, once we are equating this equation 1 and 2, so in solving this, we can say that we are solve this equation in terms of v. Solve this equation in terms of v after equating. It's better if you are solving this on your copy, because otherwise it's very difficult for you to understand the derivation and all these things. Everybody got the V? Now this equation, we can say that this 3v that is coming here, the under root of this equation, this gives the velocity. See, in this case right now here, this electron gives, we can say that the velocity with which the electron passes the gap between the input and output cavities. With this velocity, an electron passes through the drift space. Means v क्या हो गया आपका? V is the velocity by means of which the electron leaves the gap. What is? Means v is the velocity by means of which electron leaves the gap x, and that is going to drift space. So after this we are calculating this, we can say that v, equation refer equation 4. Now in equation 4, the term 2q Va by Me is denoted by the term, we are denoting this term by means of V0 dash. Here we can say that V0 dash, the see have these two terms, V0 dash and the next term we are writing. In this term we can say that we are considering this V0 dash nothing but 2q Va by Me. Just refer the condition in this case when the electron is coming from the electron gun and reaching or trying to enter into gap X. So in that case, there is no RF signal. First of all, when that is trying to enter in the gap X, after entering, that is combining. Okay, that is given by VE. Now, when the electron is entering into the gap X, now in this case, the electron basically, there is the VA, that is the cathode voltage. Charge of the electrons, that depends upon the velocity of the electron depends on what terms? That depends upon the charge of electron. What is the voltage we are applying to the cathode, and the mass of the electron. So this term V0 dash basically we can refer as in 2q under root of 2q Va upon Me. That is the mass of electron. Here we can say that the q is the charge of electron, that is given by 1.6 into 10 power 19 coulombs. M is the mass of electron, 9.11 into 10 to the power 31 kg. So now in this case, we also just put these values in the equation of V0 dash. So this V0 dash is given by 5.93 into 10 to the power 7 under root of VA. In this case, what is the V0 dash? V0 dash is nothing but the velocity with which an electron enters into the gap X, and where the V is the velocity by means of which the electron leaves the gap X. Electron leaves the gap X. Okay. Now, just I am coming to the comment box here for a moment. If any doubt is there till time, you can ask me. You can raise the queries here. Please, anybody, any queries are there? Please raise the queries in the comment box. Till V0 dash we got. Anybody can put the comment in the chat box if any queries are there. Any queries still to anybody? How we are getting the equation slide for a minute? Which slide here? Any doubt to anyone else, please? Any doubt to anyone else, please? Can you please, Namami, sir, can you please show the last slide of velocity modeling process? Means, Namami, are you showing, are you saying this mathematical or what? Namami Pataria is there? Namami, are you saying the slide of mathematical or we can say that the mathematical portion or what? You just don't worry. I'll just send all the slides and all these things to all of you on the WhatsApp group later on after the session. Don't worry. Okay. Anybody else any queries? Anybody else any queries? Please mention. Because now today we are stop. We'll stop here. That's what I'm saying. Any queries to anybody? Can you raise the comment in the comment box, please? Anybody any queries? Now, just in short, I'll brief that what we discussed today. In the unit number 3, we have seen the limitations of the conventional active devices over the micro frequencies. Then we have started with this topic that is a replace klystron, sorry, two cavity klystron. In this case, we have seen the construction principle working. We can see that how this can be operated. And then we have started the mathematical derivations. Until now, we have seen the mathematical derivation in terms of the v0 dash and v, where v0 dash is basically we are saying the velocity by which the electron is entering into the gap x, and v is the velocity that by means of which the electron is leaving the gap x. Now, tomorrow we shall see that how this bunching process and all these things will occur in this case. Even though in the next class we'll see this, if you are any doubts are there till time, whatever you have seen from this today in the today's lecture, you can raise the any queries in the, you can say that WhatsApp group or wherever you want, okay, or through mail also. Thanks for all of you for joining. So thank you. Thanks, Meghna. Okay, I'm just quitting here. Okay, and anybody can put the mark in the comment box, please, because we are quitting the session. Anybody can mark the, can anybody please? Anybody please? Can anybody?